So in today's video, we'll look at using some more advanced tools. We'll continue to use the sketch function along with the extrusion, but we'll look to add some others of the features that you'll see up here. We've got the fillet tool, the chamfer tool, and we'll also start to use the dimension tool a little bit more in detail. So we're going to start off by selecting the front face, also highlighted in this feature tree here. We're going to go to sketch, which we've done before. And in this case, we're going to, again, use the circle tool. I'm going to hit N on the keyboard. So again, I've now got a two-dimensional view. As with before, we're going to use the origin as our starting point. So we're going to click when it highlights orange. And we're going to drag it out to approximately 100 millimeters. So that is the diameter. Now, I've clicked once, it stays blue. And what I will then do is I'll type in 100 and press enter. And as you see, I now have a circle which is 100 millimeters in diameter. Extrude button at the top. We have two options here. We can use the right click option on my mouse. So I'm right clicking currently on my mouse and moving my cursor. And as you see, you can now see the product or sketch in 3D. You'll also notice in the top right hand corner all these various options in terms of how we might view our product. So I'm going to leave it in that view. We can change the depth quite easily using the arrow here. And as you'll notice, that depth regularly changes over here. I'll go with something that is 10 millimeters to start off with, which might be a little bit thin. So we'll change that up to 20 so that it helps me with the latter part of my lesson. So once we've drawn that first sketch, we are going to attempt to now add some eyes and nose and a smiley face, a smile to this drawing. So as with previous videos, we now need to select the face that we want to add these features to. So I'm going to click on that front face. It becomes orange. Again, I'll click N on the keyboard, so it's nice and two-dimensional. Go back into sketch, and for now, we'll continue to use the circle tool. Now in this instance, I'm going to click once, drag, and I want to make this a 20 millimeter diameter. And what you'll now notice is as I move to the center of this first circle, I'll move across carefully. I now have a dotted orange line, which gives us a reference point. So on this second circle for the second eye is in line. I'll purposely make it the wrong size, but again, I'll just type in 20 and I'll hit enter. Now, as I mentioned at the start, we do have this dimension tool up here, which further adds some constraints to our drawing. So to make this smiley face nice and symmetrical, I'm going to add some dimensions, which will help kind of constrain the drawing a little bit more and make it more accurate. First of all, I am going to click on the center there and then the origin. And you'll notice I now have an arrow. In there, we've got 21 as my measurement. I can move it along the room, but I'll move it over here so it's nice and easy to see. And I'm going to type in 22. The size can be altered slightly. It's just the dimension that I've chosen, so by all means try to replicate it as it is. And what I'll then do is go back to the dimension tool, and I'll click again on the center of that circle, and we've got 20 up here, so I'm going to go for 18 millimeters. And what I can also then do is once again center of this circle to the origin again. I will make sure that that's also set to 18. What I now want to do is pop into my extrude option up here. Again, going back to 3D. So at the moment we're adding material. For me, my plan is to remove material and have the eyes slightly inset. The moment that goes too far through, I only want this to go part of the way through. So what I'll now do is adapt this to 10 millimeters, hitting enter and ticking it off. Next, to draw the nose. So again, I'm going to select this face. It goes orange. Click N on the keyboard, hit sketch, and once again, I'm going to stick to using the circle tool for now. I'll use the origin as my starting point. And for the nose, we're going to go for a 20 millimeter nose again. At that point, we're going to go into extrude. And I think 10 millimeters is probably the right height. We'll go for that. I will take that off. So far we've extruded the first circle, we've removed material to create the eyes, and we've added or extruded the nose sticking out. Excuse me. The last thing to add to my drawing is the smiley face, or the mouth on the smiley face. So again, final time of selecting that front face, pop into sketch. I forgot to hit end, but I can do that now. There's two ways of doing this. I'm going to start by adding a center line to try and add a little bit more difficulty to your task and to learn other tools. So you'll notice up here the construction line. So I'm going to select the line, and then I'm going to hit this option. And notice that both icons are selected. I'm going to go to the origin, and I'm going to draw a nice long line down here so you can see that I now have a dotted line. That is there as a guide. It's there to help me construct the next part of my drawing. So I'm going to select the line tool. I'm going to go from the center, and I'm going to head across to around about here. And what I'll also then do is get the 3-point arc tool. I'm going to click once, click twice, and then I have this option to edit my sketch. I've zoomed in using the middle scroll button on my mouse, and we'll go for a radius of around about 27, 28, potentially 30. We can just type that in as with before. As I said, so I've added this construction line because I can now use another feature up here, which is called the mirror tool. So it'll tell me immediately to select a mirror line. So line of symmetry is this construction line, which I drew at the start. And now it will change to select entities. And in this case, it's referring to which lines do I want to mirror. So I'm going to select that top line, and I'll select that line over there. As with before, we can head into the extrude button, rotate my screen. I want the mouth to also be taken away, so I'm going to remove rather than add material. Type in 10, hit enter, and take it off. I'll pop that up to there. So far we've got a series of tools that we've learnt, and the final two things I'd like to kind of discuss and show you is the fillet tool along with the chamfer tool. These are very straightforward to use, so I'm going to add a nice fillet to the edge of the face. So you'll notice that selects a series of lines or edges. I just want the outer edge of the outer circle. So I click on there, pop into fillet, and it's already set to 5mm. By all means, explore or change that so you see how that changed the drawing. So you've got a slightly bigger radius. I'm going to stick with 5, and I'm going to tick that off. Got a nice radius in there. Finally, the chamfer. So this is more of an angle rather than a rounded edge. I'm going to click on the top of the nose, and again, I'm going to leave it at 5mm for now. So hopefully, you'll then have a finished smiley face. Pop over to here. As I said, you can see it from the various views. Easiest way for me or for you to try is use your right click on your mouse. Once you've got a view that you're roughly happy with, pop into the top right hand corner, click in where you want to look at. And for me, we've got a nice isometric sketch there now of my smiley face.